Hello everybody, welcome back. Fighting Crypto here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about render. I've mentioned it a few times. If you go ahead and Google or YouTube it, you're going to find out a lot about it pretty quickly, but I just haven't sat down and really talked too much about it other than just telling you guys, hey, I own it, and giving you guys a price prediction. So I want to get in a little bit about that today for really if you don't know about what render is. Before we get into all of that, the standard nothing here is financial advice. If you're here, well, you're watching this, so you're here, and thank you. If you've been here a couple of times and enjoy it, please subscribe. If you're new to this channel and you enjoy it, please subscribe. I also highly encourage you to press the like button, ring the little ding thing so you get notified when more videos come out. And let's jump right into this. I keep looking over like I'm expecting someone or something there. Someone asked me if I'm do these in the passenger seat of my car, and no, actually the time someone asked me was while I was driving, which was interesting. But today I am in the passenger seat of the car and it's throwing me off. Anyway, let's go in. So what exactly is render? Okay, it's an AI coin. What does that mean? It's ran by or deals with artificial intelligence, which is going to be a big narrative this bull run, meaning it's a keyword that everyone's going to be throwing out there. And there are certain AI coins that are, just like any other narrative, safer or less safe, more risk adverse, we'll say it, than others. Render, BitTensor, Tau are, in my opinion, the two that are the safest, most likely to make money from it. Are you going to make a 20x in them right now? No, not at this point. We're a little far into the bull run. We're actually in it. But there's still gains to be made for sure. So if you're looking at render, what is it? So in short, it helps with rendering. So if you have like a picture or a video that you have to crisp up the details, or you have a small photo and you got to enlarge it and keep the details in it, or a lot of like shading in, helping with CGI, that's all the rendering. So render helps out with that. It's one of the big things it does. It also helps donate GPU power, which, to keep this simple, feel free to say how this is not at all technologically correct in the comments below, because this is not. But render allows to give a little bit more computing power, a little to be able to do computing or computer processing speeds faster. So you can actually lend out GPU power, and render will take it and make it work more effectively. So again, I said render is popular, which is a double-sided sword, sometimes good, sometimes bad, kind of depending on what is your goal from it. At this point in the bull run, meaning we're expecting everything to start going up and, well, continue. It definitely already has. So render is very popular, and this is sometimes a good thing, sometimes a bad thing, kind of depending on what part of the market you're in and what is your goal for it. Like right now, since we're in the bull run, altcoin season has started. The indexes show it, argue it if you want, but things are popping, right? There's not too many more 50, 100x coins left, but there's a lot more safer 5 to 10x's, and render's one. A lot of people talk about it. A lot of people know it exists. And right now we're still on a dip, at least compared to the highs of April and May. I think it got up to a little over $15. And last time I looked, we're at $9, $4.5 billion market cap. This is still going to grow. As confident as I can say, I promise it's going to go up. It's going to go up. How far? I've been calling the price prediction between 45 and 50 to as my bearish limit, like where I'm going to start getting out and assume that's how it's going to go. But I could easily see render going up to about the $60 to $80 mark. It could cross over to 100, but again, I'll talk more about price predictions down the road. They should be where you expect it to go at the top, not where you should be starting to get out, because it might never actually hit those numbers. But I still think there's still an easy 4 to 6x of this coin without any, we'll call it, concerns. All right. It's always a gamble, but it's less of a gamble the more you learn. So do your own research. Look into this one if you are interested. But since people know about, a lot of people talk. People who sold it will get back in, specifically retail. Next time there's some more big news about render, it's going to go up. It's being used, which is a big deal. It has partnerships with NVIDIA, which is huge. We even call Render the NVIDIA crypto. It's not owned by NVIDIA, but they work very closely together. They're also being used by another small company you might have heard of called Apple. Again, big projects, and they're using it, which means the functionality is there. I'll get to why that matters a little bit more in a second, but Render is worth more the more often it's used to an extent. Something called where they burn the coin and mint the coin. I'll get in that in a little bit. But large companies use it. Paramount recently made a partnership with it, and I'm expecting that to go well, and if so, there's going to be more and more movies by Paramount that's using the Render, which is phenomenal news when you have large corporations putting money, advertisements, and usage into these projects or these companies. So when I've talked about the built-in component to it of controlling inflation. So inflation occurs, if you know anything about standard fiat currency, inflation is when we keep making more money and it pretty much brings the dollar, in the US we'll call it the dollar, worth down. So crypto can have a version of inflation. X amount of coins are released at the beginning, sometimes all, sometimes a small percentage, and we will release coins on a certain, typically on a schedule. If there's no schedule for a coin and they just say they can release it whenever, that's a huge, we'll call it yellow flag for me. But something cool with Render and a lot of other cryptos, there's a self-burning mechanism, meaning the opposite of inflation, where it can control it and get rid of some Render, specifically when it is used. So the more we use Render, a little bit of Render is burned off in the process. Awesome, this helps make it anti-inflationary. We can. More Render does get minted or created, though there's only so much that'll ever be out. They use something called nodes. I'll get into that in another video down the road, maybe when I get into more of the for beginners information. But it's always being made, but it's also always being destroyed. That is something I look for. It's not required by any means, but I definitely look for that in my crypto because I know there's something to control. And they're not just going to drop a bunch of coins in, kind of dilute the market. Really, people just panic, think it's going to dilute it, but again, another story. But I like when they have this built-in burning mechanism. A lot of coins do. Again, helps control it. So AI is going to be big. I can tell you why. Simplest reason. Everyone says AI is going to be big. And this is a popularity contest. The more people say something's going to happen in crypto, the more likely it's going to happen, or at least get closer to that. Everyone keeps saying memes are still hot, so memes are going to stay hot. Granted, people also like being degenerates and gambling and having fun with that, which memes are very good for in general. Again, definitely not financial advice. So the fact that everyone talks about AI is going to be big, it's going to be big. Plus, it's going to be big for use cases. I'm personally really big into RWAs, real world assets, things that actually involve the real world, and deep in DeFi. Web3. Again, none of this seems like it's English because, hey, it's acronyms. I got videos coming out in the near future and start targeting, let you know what these are. But those are the narratives I like. AI, though, is also has real world use. We've all heard of ChatGPT. That's probably the first thing most of us think of when we hear AI is ChatGPT. Or The Matrix and Terminator. Let's focus on ChatGPT. But AI is going to be used. It is being used. So there's going to be more companies that are producing things involving AI. So it's good to have, in my opinion, an AI play. I'll be looking a lot more in the bear market. Again, probably rebuying Render and BitTensor Tau. I don't own that second one, but I'm definitely looking at getting into it in the near future, meaning the next cycle of crypto. So again, do your own research. Find coins that make sense to you that you think are going to go up. Like I said, right now, or not right now, last I looked, which was earlier today, Render was right on the $9 mark. I think it was $9 exactly. Full transparency, I got in higher, but my average is now lower because I've dollar cost averaged into it, where I'm down a little under the $6 mark. But I have a number of the most I'm willing to pay for Render, which is just under $8.50. So if we have another dip, I'll probably buy more Render. That one's definitely on my radar. It's on my watch list of prices to keep an eye on, looking for more big news for sure, because news pulls people out. They're going to buy more with it. So we're looking for other things to buy. I guess they'll carry on this conversation real quickly. Is buying the red, selling the green. This is an investing 101 that everyone messes up, and it's why we don't typically make money in the space. You'll hear people say 90% of people lose, or 99%, 95%. Everyone just makes up a number. But most people do lose money, or they barely make any, like maybe 20% or something here or there. So the way you do it is by buying cheaper prices. It's really that simple. Do not panic sell. If you're panicking, you probably don't have enough conviction in your crypto to begin with. So learn what the heck it is you're buying. I personally think that this is the last big dip. Not saying it won't go down a little bit lower. We'll call the dip in the next several days. But I think this is going to be the last big dip before everything just kind of goes up. And that does not mean there's not going to be volatility. There's going to be a crap ton of volatility. Probably late first quarter next year is where we're going to see a lot more of it, where things go up and down. 60% up, 40% down. Everyone's going to panic. It's going to happen almost on the daily with a bunch of different coins. But in terms of coming down slow, low, and a good entry point where you're not risking, is it going to come back up again or anything? Kind of think it's now. Odds are, but if we look at the market, not odds are, everything is kind of down except Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay, there might be another one or two, but in general, the market's down. People are selling because of Christmas. I mean, that's really what ends up happening. It's happening less now, but prices still kind of drop a lot Friday evenings into Saturday morning U.S. time. And I think people are going out and they're selling the crypto to try to get some funds to go play. All right. And then comes tax returns and Christmas money. Things are going to go back up. I really think it's the last good time we're going to see stuff kind of come down. So not saying it's your last chance, but it's a good opportunity in the next couple of weeks to get back in. Just know what you're buying, how much you're willing to pay for it, and how much you want to see to get the bleep out of it. I got a few videos on that, but I'm not going to ramble. I'm just going to go ahead and summarize Render. It's an AI play. I love that it's partnered up and has deals with Paramount, NVIDIA, and Apple. Love the pre-burning mechanism. I see this easily hitting about the $50 mark. I will start selling some of my bags before then. That angers you or not? Why? Why would that anger you? Honestly, I don't understand. Yell at me in the comments below. Explain to me if you actually know. But have you gotten into Render? Do you like Render? Is there another AI play you like more? Someone told me ICP is king. I don't have a strong argument for it. I don't know if it's going to be best, but it's another great project. So thank you again for coming in. Let me know what you think. Ring the dang thing, like, comment, subscribe, do all the wonderful stuff. It makes me happy when I see that happen in the morning. And if you're interested in more of the basics, not more, I didn't actually go over it. But if you're interested in some basic videos explaining what crypto is, please let me know in the comments below too, because I plan on popping more of those out, and knowing what you guys like does help. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.